Hey y'all, welcome back to Pure South Pastures. It's a cool, frosty morning here in central Arkansas, and just moved the cows. Wanted to do a short video. It's not gonna be a long one today. Do a short video. I want to talk to you about animals that are adapted to your grazing style and the land that you're on. So let's talk about it real quick. Glad you joined me today. Let's get into it. So you can see cows are grazing down in this bottom. It's pretty green. I'll take you up the hill in a minute and show you. It changes a little bit up as you go up this hill this way. But you can see the graze line right over there from yesterday, where there was a wire there, and they took that down pretty good all the way up that hill. Did a good job grazing it. This morning, as we go into winter, I'm thinking about animal performance, animals that are going to be able to make it. This cow right here is probably the largest cow. She's not the largest we have. She's probably the largest one that I'm going to keep. She seems to do well even in marginal conditions on marginal forage, being able to obviously produce a calf inside while raising a calf on her side. So as we go into winter, I've got a few of those that still have some calves on them, and that's not the optimal scenario, but it just kind of is what it is at this point. Part of that is my fault, or I guess from a management standpoint, all of it's my fault. I can get into that another day, but you can see these smaller, and they are heifers. This is a cow right here. She's smaller. She's got a smaller frame size, and she does fine. She'll do fine all the way through the winter, even with a calf on her side, eating stockpile. So that's really kind of the main thing is we're asking these animals to eat this marginal stockpile, this leftover grass that we've grazed. And if you look, well, I don't know if you can see, but past the trees and over the hill there's some stockpile that's about chest high. And obviously it's really rank. We'll have to give them some protein. There's a lot of biomass. There's all the forage they'd ever want. There's just not a lot of good quality in it. And so we'll have to supplement a little bit of quality. But outside of that, we're not giving them anything else, just water and mineral. So we're asking them to do quite a bit. We're asking them to work for us. And because we're asking them to work for us, some of them fall out of the herd. They're just going to. So some of our bigger cows, they got to go to town. They're older anyway. It's so hard, like this cow right here. She's not gonna make it on this farm in the way that we're grazing. That hurts my heart because not because I'm so attached to the cow, but a lot of these older cows raise good calves. And some of the great calves that we have here that are, they come from a bull that was more moderate framed, and South Pole genetics too are more given to just be able to function just on grass. So yeah, we're gonna have to make some decisions, and I've been talking about it for a while, but it's so important to have animals that are adapted to your system, your forage, the way that you're functioning. So when you have animals that they flesh easy, or they keep good condition on the forage that's on your farm, whether it be great forage or not so great forage, that's what you have to have. It's one of the reasons why we went with some Corrientes to add to our herd for a kind of an overlooked, lower cost way of adding some numbers, because they are moderate framed. They're not big animals, and they just, they really, you watch them eat, they kind of eat like goats. You put them in a paddock and they run straight down to the thicket and start eating the stuff off the limbs, which I love that. It's interesting. I've been watching these, and look how segregated they are. They're all up here grazing. All the South Pole herd is down there grazing, and that's kind of how they live. I did try to, I was going to do 4 moves a day one day, one day when I was home on a Friday or Saturday. I tightened them down like I would. I mean, it's very, it's really high stock density. That was no bueno, no good. It was just too tight for these two herds at this point. They just started chasing each other around. There was no grazing happening. They were just jostling and running and chasing and, fighting with each other. And it wasn't like terrible fighting, but it just wasn't good. So they were, you leave them a day doing that, they're going to lose condition, not maintain or add. So, but you can see how, I mean, these animals they just stay slick and fat. There's no death triangle right here. It's early in the morning. They've been laid up all night, and they look great all the time. A lot of people don't like them, but I'm learning to love them. I really am. I think they got a lot going for them. They're really, really fun to have. I'll be interested to see if over time the two herds kind of fall in together. I think they will over the winter. I'm gonna tell you something else. Just me being out here every day with them. I come out a couple times a day. I might come out in the morning and move them. Then when I get home at night, I'm intentional every time I come out to walk around inside this group of Corrientes, just so they're used to me just being right there, and already they've calmed down, settled down to my presence. So they're going to town on this stockpile. So anyway, I was just thinking about, these cows that they're just breaking down as far as not being able to keep condition in the way that we're grazing. We're pushing them pretty hard. And so in that, you got to have animals that are adapted. The beautiful thing is most of your calves, what I've seen, and somebody else can speak to this too, but from what I've seen, most of the calves that are born on your farm, big bull, most of the calves that are born here, and I think science backs this up, because they grew in utero, even from when they were in the mom. The mom was eating the forage that's on your land. They're born eating the forage on your land, obviously with some milk. They're just raised in that environment. They just do better. It's like they're adapted already for your farm. So the more you can raise right here, home raise, and keep them, the better off you are, because they just seem to function better in your system and in your environment and on the forage that you have on your farm. So that's why we're trying to hold back lots of heifers, lots of South Pole heifers. So, matter of fact, everyone we can, everyone we can afford to hold back, we're doing it. So, but they're doing good. Grazing the stockpile. We're not worming. We're not. The only injections we give, unless it's an absolute emergency to save a life, the only injections we give is blackleg. So that's just the way we want to function, because we just don't want to be running up to corrals and giving shots just to prop animals up. If we move them all the time, it really seems to help them as far as the parasite load and all that. As a matter of fact, I don't know that I know that every animal is going to have parasites, some, but we've not been in a situation where we needed to treat anything for parasites. So I think that's just from management, and I'm sure we'll get into that some with the sheep. But up to this point, we have not in our short run with sheep. I can't speak from a lot of time experience on that. So anyway, just wanted to talk about adapted animals this morning. It's important that we have animals that, like this one, that are raised here, adapted to our forage, adapted to our system, and they just going to keep condition easy, hold it, and make it through the winter. On this is a carpet grass centipede. There's a little bit of some warm season stuff, some Dallas grass left over in here, and down in the bottom down here there's a little bit of fescue, which we're thankful for. Wasn't a lot of that in the beginning, but we're seeing more and more of it. this is kind of what the stockpile looks like moving forward. And then, because we've grazed this before, and then you can see the line down, move my hand, you can see the line back there. That's where that hill and down, there's a big area of leftover stockpile there. And then the front farm is completely, we've left it most of the year. I think the last time we were on it was in May. And so it's really rank, but there's a lot of biomass there. We're gonna start using soybean meal as a protein supplement, so that we can so that they can digest. When this, I'm really watching the manure every day, and so when we get to a point where they're just needing more protein, we're gonna start putting it to them. Get a little bit in the morning, and maybe every other day, something like that. Keep the rumen cranking. So that's what we're doing. Thanks for watching today. I appreciate you. God bless you. See you in the next one.